In this section of the course, we're going to go ahead and set up conversion tracking. Now, there's a couple ways you can track conversions. You can track it with Google Analytics, or you can also set up conversion tracking within Google Ads itself. Now, I recommend using Google Analytics to track your conversions because you're going to get a lot more data. You can see the paths people followed in order to convert, and you can get just a lot more data from Google Analytics than you can on AdWords. But no matter what, it is important that you track conversions. Otherwise, what is the point of your marketing? So this section of the course is very important, and please pay attention and make sure that you understand how this actually gets applied so you can track conversions and make sure your advertising efforts are actually paying off. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and set up conversion tracking in Google Analytics, and then the next video we'll do it inside of Google Ads. So here we are in Google Analytics, and what we want to do is go to Admin, and we're going to come to our view, and we're going to go to Goals. So a goal is accomplished anytime somebody does something we want them to do, like opt in for a lead magnet or buy a product or something to that effect. So didn't pop up that time, so refresh real quick. All right, so I got no goals in here currently. I have no goals. So let's add one. New goal. And we could select one of these templates, but I always go with custom. We'll make our own goal. Continue. And what I'm going to ultimately do is try and track conversions for people buying my book. I'm trying to sell this book right here. And so that's what I want to track. So I'm going to set up a goal conversion to track people that buy this book right here. So purchase the sales funnel book version 2.0. Goal slot, I'll leave that alone. You can select a different one if you want to for some reason. Then we have a few different options here. We've got destination, duration, pages/screens per session, and then event. What I typically do is destination, but there could be reasons to have goals for these other options. We're going to roll with destination because everyone can understand that, and it's applicable to pretty much any type of advertising you're going to do. Hit continue now. All right, so our goal details. So how does somebody trigger this goal? And we're doing it based off a destination, and I go with begins with. And I do begins with because maybe there's some additional parameters that get attached to a URL or something to that effect. And I want to make sure that I capture that information. But you can also use equals to, whatever makes sense to you. So I'll go with begins with, and I want to go ahead and get my URL. So I've got cemllc.thrivecart.com, and then it's actually confirm. Now note real quick that I'm adding the entire domain right here, and that's because we had set up that filter where we're displaying the entire domain across our Google Analytics account. Now, if you did not set up that filter, then you would not include this information. You would just include the back half of the URL. Hopefully I didn't lose you right there, but if you watch that filter video and set up a filter about showing the whole domain, then this should make some sense. So that's why I have that whole domain in there. We could assign a value here if we want to. So every time somebody lands on that page, I make at least $6.95. Now this funnel option is optional, and I'm going to leave it off. And it's kind of deceptive. Like how it sounds like is you can kind of watch people through your funnel, and they'll have to complete the previous steps in order to complete this step here to reach the goal. But that's not exactly how it works. Like it will report, or it'll show you the flow, but it's still going to report everyone that lands on this page, no matter if they land on this page from a different flow than what you outlined down here below. So hopefully that didn't go too far over your head. Main thing is I recommend just leaving it off, and if you want to learn more about these funnel options, just Google Analytics and funnel settings to see what happens. Then you want to go ahead and verify this goal. Now, hopefully you have some data in your account, and you'd see some sort of percent represented here. Now, since I literally just set this up, there's like no data going on. So I'm going to have a 0% conversion rate, which is what I expected. Now, as time goes on, I'd want to go and make sure that this is actually working correctly. because if your goals aren't working correctly, then you're going to have problems because your conversion tracking is not going to work, and then what's the point of anything? So if you're at 0%, make sure there's a reason for it. Either there's been no conversions in the last 7 days, or you just installed your Pixel and stuff hasn't happened yet. But you're going to want to keep an eye on it if you have 0. Okay, so come back a day later, make sure that some stuff is going on. Otherwise, yeah, no point. So hit save and good to go. So now I'm tracking when people purchase the Sales Funnel Book version 2.0. Now what I need to do is go ahead and basically connect this goal, this conversion, to Google Ads. So that way Google Ads can track these conversions and help me better understand how my advertising efforts are performing. So go over to Google Ads now, and I'll back out to the main screen here so we're all on the same page. So here I am on my main screen. Go to Tools, go to Conversions, go to Add a Conversion, and I want to go ahead and import the conversion. And I'm importing it from Google Analytics, and I'll hit Continue. And you see that I got 2 goals in here. I got the one that I just set up, which is the one I want to use. So select this goal, import and continue, and done. And boom, just like that, I am now tracking goals in Google Analytics, so that way I can get a bunch of data over who's accomplishing the goals. And then I'm also tracking those conversions within Google Ads here, so that way I can see how well my ads are actually doing inside of Google AdWords. So that's how you go ahead and set up a goal and conversion tracking in Google Analytics and then transfer it over to your Google Ads account.